On February 19, 1942, just 2 months after the United States entered World War II, President Franklin Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066, which paved the way for the mass evacuation and eventual incarceration of all persons of Japanese descent from the western coast of the United States.
The time, spring and summer of 1942. The place, 10 different relocation centers in unsettled parts of California, Arizona, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, and Arkansas.
Approximately 40% of the initial 110,000 people incarcerated were American-born children 19 years and younger.
When the school bell rings, it's a signal for these students at Hart Mountain in Wyoming to change classes. The school curriculum meets the standard of the state where the center is located. Mathematics, American history, geography, the fundamentals of an American education. This is a class in mathematics. And a rhythm class of 5th grade pupils. In the modern school, many subjects are added to reading, writing, and arithmetic as part of the schoolwork. Some of the teachers are Caucasian. Some are evacuees, Americans of Japanese ancestry.
38-year-old Emily Light was one of those Caucasian teachers. Emily Underhill Light, a New Jersey native, taught elementary school until she came to California in 1941 to study social theory at UC Berkeley. While at Berkeley, she lived at International House, where she made many Japanese-American friends. Perhaps that was what inspired her to volunteer to teach in the relocation centers. Her first stop was Tule Lake in Northern California. She arrived in early September 1942 to set up barrack number 123 as a makeshift schoolroom in preparation for the first day of school, September 14th. Lawrence Higashihara was one of her first grade students.
Well, you know, I started first grade and I wasn't too comfortable. I didn't want to go to school. Well, I was really scared, so I cried and cried and cried. So my mom brought me to school and we sat on the step, you know, and the step was nothing, just a couple of boxes like. So we sat there for maybe 4 hours, and the teacher, I don't know, Emily liked the teacher. She spent some time with the kid and spent most of the time with me. I don't know how she got away with that because she had 20, 30 other kids, you know. Finally, my mom went home and Emily, the teacher, told my mom she could leave, so I stayed with her, but I still couldn't speak English. But I used to spend, I think, I say half the time in the bathroom, but maybe not that much. Maybe only 25% of the time. But I spent a lot of time in the bathroom because I didn't have any friends. I didn't have nobody. I didn't know what the teacher was telling me. All the kids spoke English. The only guy that didn't speak English was Larry, and like I said, I had dyslexia, so I had a learning impairment, so I had really a lot of problems. That loyalty deal with my dad did, he said that we were gonna stay in the United States, so we got sent to Arkansas. So Miss Light, Emily, told my dad, says, yeah, he's having a lot of trouble, but I remember her talking to him, so I must have understood English a little bit by the end of the picture. She said, oh, Edison had a lot of trouble, but his mom taught him and he did okay, you know, after a while. So my dad said, okay. So he went, I'm sorry I can't go to the next camp. I would like to, but I can't. So we went to Arkansas, and then that's when I got that teacher. She was awful. Then we used to have a teacher's aide, you know, and she talks to me in Japanese every time the teacher asks a question. I didn't understand very well, so she would translate it in Japanese and tell me. And the teacher got mad at her because she thought that she was siding with me and not her, so she didn't let that girl talk to me at all anymore, so don't talk to him. And every time she has a question, she asks me first. Then she beat me up every time, and so I cried all day long. So I told my mother I didn't want to go to school, but she made me go to school. But beside that, you know, I didn't have no friends the first half of the year, so from September till December, I didn't have no friend. Recess, I used to walk out and stand in the corner of the building and look around like that. Nobody talked to me. The teacher don't talk to me because she's always mad at me. But you know, in the middle of the year, let me tell you something, like a miracle. My first grade teacher, she somehow sensed that I was having trouble, and she came and looked for me and got that teacher kicked out. Amazing. So then what happened is she takes over, then everybody likes me. So I'm everybody's best friend because everybody knew I was a teacher's pet. So the next half year were really probably the best in school in my whole life. So this teacher was so nice. We used to go like the Japanese, you know, they say otete, they hang on together and they get a big line and go dancing and skipping to go see the teacher. She was so nice. It was really great.
My going to Tule Lake had anguished my mother unwittingly. She feared for my safety, feared political intrigue, and my getting caught up in it. No amount of writing has assuaged these fears, so I decided to use my leave to talk to her and my family to help them better understand the situation. My mother went with me when I spoke in our church where many sharp, critical questions were asked. I felt, with the facts, I'd answered them well and could see attitudes changing, as well as the last vestige of doubt leaving my mother. As we walked home under a beautiful starlit sky, she remarked sadly, "And I thought you were against our country."
I don't know, you know, I've always thought about her over the years, and I'm sorry I never met her again. Real sorry. But, you know, in a way, I would have liked to seen her after I did okay, you know. So if I could have seen her back in the 80s, you know, I would have been real happy. But what's so sad was she was living right here in El Cerrito, and my sister lives in El Cerrito today. Yeah, and that's the sad part. But I don't know. Maybe the hereafter, maybe I'll see her again.
Emily never married or had children of her own, so she retired to North Carolina to be closer to her brother and sister. She passed away in 1991 at the age of 85.